is one of the finest and most courageous men I have ever known. It is amazing how people can heap criticism and responsibility for problems that were presented by the people who did the heaping. To heap that responsibility on a person who was simply fighting for social change. I was at home in St. Kitts with my wife Hazel, days before February 29th, 2004. And we had a talk on the phone with Mildred Aristide. Mildred is Aristide's wife. You saw her on the film with him on certain occasions. Mildred is an extraordinary woman. They have 2 daughters, and they're principled and wonderful parents. Mildred graduated college Phi Beta Kappa. She went to law school at the University of Pennsylvania. She met Titid Aristide when he was in exile, or perhaps she met him before, but it crystallized when they were together in Washington, and they were married in Port-au-Prince, and I was at the wedding. That's over 20 years now. And so my wife and I spoke to Mildred on the phone 2 or 3 days before February 29th. And she sounded different. She said, things are very tense here. And we were, because they were and remain very good friends of ours, we were afraid for them. I called the evening of the 29th. The 29th we only see once every 4 years. The 29th that was chosen by the United States because the 29th is difficult to commemorate. Our country behaved in a shameful fashion. Colin Powell had said to Aristide days before we talked to Mildred that they're coming to kill you on Sunday. And I want you to know that we're not going to do anything to help you. Now, Aristide had a pilot who went into exile with him. He was a helicopter pilot, and he had flown over the country. And he had seen the rebels going away from the capital, not towards the capital. So Aristide was reassured there was no imminent threat from the rebels who were acting, who had been trained in the Dominican Republic, and who were acting on orders from the United States. And so I called the house that night of the 29th. An American answered the phone. I said, I'd like to speak to President Aristide. He is not here. May I speak to Mrs. Aristide, Mildred Aristide? She is not here either. the phone is hung up. Now we're really frightened. What has happened? Days later, crackling on the phone and static and all of that, Aristide calls me from Bangui, the Central African Republic. And he says to me, as much as he could get out, it was a coup. It was a coup. And that was when the line was cut. Maxine Waters and I immediately started to talk. It would be a week or so before we could organize the resources to do what we had to do. And so we chartered a plane. We called P.J. Patterson in Jamaica, who was then the Prime Minister of Jamaica. And we said, Mr. Prime Minister, we need the participation of Jamaica. We need the participation of the Caribbean. And he said that my parliamentarian, Sharon Hay Webster, will be on that plane with you. You saw Ira Kurzban in the film. Ira is a Miami lawyer who was the lawyer for Aristide and still remains a good friend of my family. He was on the plane. Maxine, of course, was on the plane with her husband, Sidney Williams. He was there to be with his wife in case anything bad happened to all of us. And then there was Goodman of Democracy Now! On the plane. Yes, Amy Goodman of Democracy Now! And a reporter from the Washington Post. That was it. We arrived in Bangui at about 6 o'clock in the evening. It was pitch black. The airport sits cheek by jowl to a French military establishment. It was clear enough that France really controls the Central African Republic. And so we went downtown and we met with Francois Bozizzi, the president and former military general who came to power via Coup himself, saying that, are you holding President Aristide prisoner? He said, no, we're doing this as a service to the United States and to France. We sat down and talked with the Aristides. They told us that at some point early in the evening of the 29th, 12 white Chevy Suburbans pulled up and discharged a number of Marines, each of the Suburbans packed with Marines fully armed, and told the president he had to leave. There was no question that the United States kidnapped the elected president of Haiti. No question at all. Their first stop for refueling, after being ordered aboard the plane, was Antigua. Antigua is just a few miles from St. Kitts, where I live. We can almost hit it with a rock. Mildred tried to raise the shade and was told by an American military person, put the shade down, that's not allowed. Where are we going? That's not allowed. They had no idea where they were being taken. When they arrived in the Central African Republic, they called again. And then I told them, we are coming to get you. And we did. And we told Bozizi. Maxine said, I have to be on the floor of Congress tomorrow if you don't want a big stink. You will turn him over to us. Sharon Hay Webster was there to tell them that her prime minister would have a place for them, a refuge for them in Jamaica. And I want to tell you, this was heroic from P.J. Patterson. He stood up to the United States. Condoleezza Rice threatened him. She told him that we can shut down Jamaica if you don't get him out of there. Thabo Mbeki in South Africa. We called Thabo, friend for a long time. Worked against apartheid together when he was in exile. And Thabo said, I've got to get an election behind me, which is just a week away. If he can make it in Jamaica for just a week, he's got a place here to be. And that's what happened. P.J. Patterson stood up to the United States for somewhere between 1 and 2 weeks and defied them in the face of threats from Condoleezza Rice. I was never more ashamed of my country. Now, I want to bring this up to date shortly. Haiti has the lowest paid hourly wage in the entire Western Hemisphere. Aristide was trying to win for these people just before he was thrown out, taken out, kidnapped. $2 a day. These are the people who work in the sweatshops, Fruit of the Loom, Haynes, Levi's, all of those major companies. The lowest hourly wage in the Western Hemisphere. Trying to raise that wage from 24 cents to 61 cents, or $5 a day. The factory owners, combined with USAID, the U.S. Embassy, and Secretary of State Hillary Rodham Clinton, to squelch that for Haiti. There's a radio DJ in New York, Dahoud Andre. He's a radio show host in New York who has helped organize protests against the Clintons. A vote for Hillary Clinton means further corruption, further death, and destruction for our people. Mrs. Clinton is in league with these people. Black people in South Carolina did not know that. The Clintons are the most avaricious and greedy people I have known in recent memory. She has also installed her brother Tony Rodden in Haiti on the board of a company that holds and produces gold. They raised billions of dollars for hurricane relief. Nobody knows where the money went. All we do know, it didn't go to Haiti. Now, it's for us. I used to say that when we were working on the apartheid issue, that you do what you have to do where you are. We do what we can do where we are. Our responsibility is to remove America as a part of the problem. Let them fight the fight that they have to fight at home. But let us take away their allies. Once we got the corporations to begin leaving South Africa, the deal was done. Money will run if you scare it. It's the first time I've seen in a film something that Haiti has almost kept the secret of. I was saying last night when I was here that Haiti was so much like apartheid South Africa. It's the same thing. But nobody seems to know we're talking about the maintenance of white wealth and control and the sustaining of just the awfulest poverty in those who produce for that white minority that kind of wealth. This is the first time I have ever seen in a film a picture of that class. They are wealthy beyond belief. And Aristide stood up to them. And she played a part in banning his Lavalas party, the largest party in the country, from participating in any new presidential elections. How can it be a democracy if you ban the largest party in the country from participating? And she installed a man in the presidency. What is his name? I'm always forgetting his name. What's his name? He's a musician. Martelli, yes. A musician, a lewd musician. who wears a woman's bikini on the stage when he performs. This is what Hillary Clinton wanted as the face of Haiti. But not this proud, brilliant man who speaks 7 languages. So what they do to one of us, they do to all of us. And so I would hope we use this to think about what we can do to start something. It's never too late to start something. And just do it. It's better to do it and fail than not to attempt to do it. Because believe me, when we don't do anything, we become accomplices. We've got to do it. This is a crime against humanity. Now, I want to read a little to you about Makeda.